I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey,
Okay. I feel the pop
yo,
vibe.
what's up, y'all? Welcome to a special edition of the New Amsterdam After Show. I am your man, the Tyler Tyson, and on this special episode, I am joined by the one and only, the man of the hour. You guys know him as Dr. Reynolds on the hit show New Amsterdam, my man, Jocko Sims.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am, at some point during this interview, I'm going to expunge a loud, obnoxious cough.
And it's fine.
And
we welcome it as long as it's germ-free and it's not carrying any extra viruses.
I can't promise you that. I can't promise. I don't know what's going on in the world. But so that, and I'm on some Delcium, so I'm kind of a little woozy. But other than that, I'm blessed. I'm happy.
We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to stop by,
Thank
chit
you.
chat with us, hang out with us, have some fun with us. So
Looking forward to it.
we're
Bro.
gonna have some fun today.
Yeah,
So
cool.
let's jump into all things New Amsterdam.
Let's do it.
All right. So first of all, your character, Floyd Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
What did you like about this character? Like, what drew you to this character in the first place?
Quiet as kept. I actually wanted to be a doctor in real life.
Okay.
While I was in high school, I had the credentials to potentially do it. I was a straight A student, top 5% of my class, National Honor Society, president of Spanish Club. I used to be smart.
What do you mean used to be?
And then, so I even had a medical symbol on my ring. I get to college my first year though, and I realized I'm like, I don't want to be in school for the next 12 years. And I'd always been creative, so I took a theater course, fell in love with it, moved out to California, finished up studying theater, got my BA in theater at UCLA, and started auditioning. I booked my first audition out, which doesn't happen, and I realized, this is probably what I'm supposed to be doing. But long story long, I'd always wanted to play a doctor.
Okay.
I always wanted to play a doctor, and it took, I guess, I've been working now 16 years to get a role like this, and it feels good. It feels like I'm living two dreams at once, because I get to do all the doctor stuff, but get to do it in front of millions of people.
I was about to ask you, before you came in, one of the questions that I kind of had on standby was, is the medical terminology difficult for you? But obviously, if you wanted to be a doctor, this is like right in your wheelhouse.
Well, I would have probably done better when I was straight out of school. And like I said, I used to be smart. No, it's fun. We have a good time. We have people there who are advising us and helping us out and help us with the pronunciations. And it's just after a while you kind of get used to it. It's not so bad.
Okay, so let's kind of jump into, because there are a lot of there are rumors going around, there are words going around about your character, Floyd, leaving the show. So we saw in one of the previous episodes, Double Blind, I think it was, where Max finally knows exactly like that your character is planning on leaving. The way he found out was kind of trifling, but he found out.
You got to be from the South to know what the word trifling is.
Listen, y'all,
or of us.
Beyonce used that word all the time.
Sorry.
She's from Texas, from Houston. So are you leaving? Is Dr. Reynolds leaving the show?
I will say, I cannot say.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You guys have to stay tuned. It's fun. Listen, I will say this: it's so amazing how the writers have teased this possibility out for a long time. And I remember, I already got you sick. Look at that.
Coughing.
Sorry about that. And then it's just, I don't know how they do it and how they come up with what, these stories and these ideas and these plot twists and turns. But I will say, if you use your noggins out there, there's a few possibilities. I could possibly not be leaving. I could leave, maybe come back. I could leave and maybe do a little spin-off situation. I could leave and maybe there's, some stuff going on in San Francisco or I may leave and you don't see me on there.
Exactly.
So that's what makes it kind of fun and exciting. And it reminds me of last year when we had that big cliffhanger at the end of the season when we knew we were going to lose a character. Yeah, so it's all good. It's a lot of fun.
Well,
This is my mom calling me.
Hi, Mom.
Well,
you could have brought Mom up to the studio.
Oh,
too,
yeah, next time I'll do that. She will love that. She loves to crash my interviews.
Well, okay, so I am low-key, your character, Floyd Reynolds, is one of my favorites, if not my favorite on the show.
Thank you.
I have been against your engagement since the beginning. I am still
not the only one.
Every time, because at the end of every show, after show, we give predictions. My predictions is that it's never gonna happen. My predictions is you're gonna go all the way to the line, and then somehow, some way, prayerfully, it just ends. I don't know why I don't like this engagement, but it just doesn't feel right.
It's so funny because the audience is split on that. Some of them really love it, and a lot of them feel the same way that you do. Like they said, they bring up Reynolds and Bloom a lot, and say that it doesn't feel so authentic. But I'll tell you this. Another thing, getting back to the writing. I remember in the beginning of the season they said, "Oh, so you're going to be planning your wedding the whole season, and you're going to have a wedding at the end of the season." And I said, "Oh, cool, that's exciting." And then they told me halfway through, said, "Yeah, the wedding's off. That's not going to happen. We're going to do this." I was like, "Oh, all right, and cool." So I currently don't know where we stand, and if something happens, it would happen in the next 3 episodes. But it looks like Floyd's leaving. I don't know. So I wish I can give you more, but I will say it does get very interesting in the next few episodes.
Okay. We still have time left. I'm gonna try to keep pulling out. You might know a little something. The other thing that kind of baffles me a little bit, the situation with you or Floyd and Dr. Bloom. Why is that never really addressed? You know what I mean? Like they addressed it kind of, but then they kind of just scurried on and moved on.
Yeah.
Why can't we get like just the? And I know you're gonna tell me to talk to the writers, but don't you think it might behoove the writers to give us just something to kind of play with, to give a little backstory, just to kind of see where they are now, because we don't even really see their interaction that much.
Yeah, and what I like about it is that there's so much you can do and so many things that can be done. For example, Bloom's got her own stuff going on.
Yeah.
I mean, season 1, she was battling addiction. Now, as you see, her mom has kind of stepped back into her life.
And she was injured at the beginning of...
Oh, not to mention she almost died.
Yeah.
So she got some other things on her mind besides Reynolds. That's first of all. And secondly, I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that Evie came into the picture, and especially since Bloom introduced Evie to Reynolds.
Right.
It's one of those things where she kind of decided to step back and pay respect to that. And we've all kind of been there, in situations where you're waiting for your friend,
waiting in the wings,
just waiting for her to just end that over there. And maybe Bloom's doing that, but I think right now it's just just keeping a respectful distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's once again. So there's so many reasons why I like this character. One, the more we talk, the more I find out what we have in common. Both born in Texas, both 80s babies. I was up until my junior year of college, I was pre-med. Same. So I mean, it's the same.
Wow.
It's like this, but somehow I took this sharp turn into entertainment.
Yeah.
But in this in this show, there's a young intern, resident. I believe his name is Duke. If I'm not mistaken.
He's Duke, and Ian Duff is his name.
What is your relationship like, both on set and then outside of the character?
Yeah, Ian is great, man. He's a great talent. He came in and commanded that screen instantly. Looked like a little baby Reynolds with bigger hair,
Exactly.
A younger, thinner version, and he was just great. He's humble, unlike his character. Yeah, very humble, quiet at times. And that actually goes a long way in the business, when you don't come in, because not every guest star comes in respectfully. I'll say that. But he's a great guy. I've had some cast dinners that I've organized, and he's one of the great guys that I've invited to come along as well. So he's fantastic. I enjoy working with him.
Awesome. Is there any chance that we will see more of Dr. Reynolds' family? Because there was one episode that I can think of off the top of my head where Dr. Reynolds and Evie went over to his mom's house for dinner, and it was, it was kind of shaky.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed the interaction because, of course, it looks a lot like my home and
Yeah.
things that I've experienced bringing someone home. Like, are we going to see more of that?
One of my favorite parts was when we were at the dinner and me and my sister were going in, on each other, and she said, all right, all right, sporting waves, and she did her hair like that. And I read that, and I said, how did these writers?
That's twice.
That's 2 to my 0. Ooh, I'm doing good. We'll see if I make it. Delcium. So no, I said, how did the writers know about that I use sporting waves?
Listen,
it's crazy. So, but the family stuff was really good. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm trying. Y'all see I'm trying?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, that family stuff. The family stuff was really good. People responded to it well, and the writers are listening.
Okay. Well, you guys do have phenomenal writers because
they are amazing.
Like you said, just when you think you've figured out the way the show is gonna go, something always happens and it makes a left turn. And then the subject matter and the topics that you cover are so current and so real there, and not to downplay any other medical dramas because those are great.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, Grey's and the others, they're great, but they're just completely different from this particular show. What was your audition process like? Did you have to audition?
Yeah, this one, they weren't playing around. They made a lot of people read for it, and Megan gave me some great news about somebody I grew up watching.
Go ahead and drop it.
No, I can't. It's all good. It's just, and that's what it just had. It just so happened to work out that when they saw me playing Reynolds, that was it. So I had gone in the first time with casting, and we had the scene where it was 2 scenes that I read, and the first one was the one where I tell Bloom that we're not gonna go take this further because I want my family to be black, and then I thought that was quite controversial, and I was like, are we gonna say that on network TV? Cool, okay, all right. And
well, I mean, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like that is something that I think any person that has entered into an interracial relationship, that is something you absolutely think about.
Yeah, it's your parents. It doesn't matter what race you are, your parents will kind of always, even if they're not telling you out, they kind of leaning on you. Emotionally to let you know, steer you in a certain direction. That's just how it is. Your family wants you to at times be with people that look like you. So but it's borderline. Is that racist? And so that was an interesting thing. So that was great. That I felt like we were going to address that. And then the other scene was when Max Goodwin fires me and then rehires me and makes me the head of the cardiac surgical department all in one day.
Yes.
And so we're having that conversation. So I read there, and then I go back for the callback, and it was with the producers. It was David Schulner, our creator, was there, and Peter Horton was in there, who I was a fan of. I grew up watching 30-something, and he incidentally also was one of the early producers on Grey's Anatomy. So there was no pressure in there, but that was fantastic. We hit it off very, very well, and after the process was all over, after the tests and whatnot, Peter told me that it was me the whole time.
How long was the process?
Oh gosh, that was maybe a month long, because I had auditioned for other stuff in between, and by the time they got around to actually doing the network test, it was like at least 3 weeks after my initial audition, because I thought that had gone away.
Right.
And there was some miscommunication for a minute. I thought it was just completely gone. I was like, I thought we were connecting in that room. Like, what am I missing? But it turned out that
worked.
My feeling was right.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I can say is that as a fan of the show, obviously, I think, and maybe I hope other fans feel the same way, the thing that I like so much about this particular show, all of you guys, it's almost like we forget Jocko and we only see Reynolds.
Yeah.
We forget Ryan and we only see Max.
That's funny.
How is, I guess, your chemistry with everyone? Are you guys exactly like what we see on screen, or is it really just acting? Are you guys really friends? Do you guys get along? Do you fight?
Yeah.
Do you have sleepovers, cook out? Like what is it like outside of?
That's funny. First of all, about seeing, like, this was the first. I remember calling my mom after I saw the pilot. I saw it on lockdown at Universal Studios. I had to watch it and be watched while I was watching it, and it was. I called my mom. I said, "It's the first time in all these years I've been working professionally that I didn't feel like I was watching myself. And it's clearly me, you know, I'm not doing an accent or doing anything over the top. That's not me. But for some reason, this role just feels like someone else and something else. And that felt really good as an actor. And as far as our relationships, yeah, they suck. They're not great people. No, look, they're so great. They're so great that we get along so well, and everybody's so nice and sweet. And even we have some crew members and some of the drivers who've been around. They've been in New York for 30 years. Some of them driving around a lot of shows, different TV stars, movie stars, and whatnot. And they said, "You guys are the nicest bunch we've ever seen." And people kept saying that, and I was trying to figure out what that was or why that was, and I realized that this was a show about compassionate characters, and the writers and producers cast compassionate people to play them. So we got lucky to be on a show like this. And yes, we're good friends. Yes, we hang out, and we have a lot of fun on set, like a little too much fun. There was I can't wait until there's a scene. I don't know if it's aired or not, but there was a scene with Ryan and I, who plays Max Goodwin, where it was so funny because the words were funny, but I don't know what it was. But we looked at each other, and I said, I don't think, because we just did it once in rehearsal, and I said, I don't think I'm gonna make it through this, because he was delivering it so well, and it was just like it turned into a comedy show. And we literally had to apologize to everybody around. I was like, I don't think we're gonna make it. And that was the first time I had a moment like that on a set, and people just really appreciated it, you know. So we're really close. We have a lot of fun, and we like to laugh.
I love that. You gotta have fun, and being the stalker that I am, because I obsessively watch all of your, not just you, but the entire cast. Social media as well as the show's social media. I see you guys doing certain things, and I'm just like, I think they actually are like friends. It's not just a front. So Max directed, I think it was the Sabbath episode, which is 2 episodes ago. See, there you go.
There it is.
1 to 2. We catching up. We catching up. Do you have any aspirations of doing the same? Is there opportunity for you to do the same? Like, what's in your wheelhouse? Because I see how you guys all rallied behind him and supported him and had nothing but nice things to say. Yeah. And it was a phenomenal episode.
No, he was great. It was he did a good job. And that's the thing that now the pressure's on. If you want to step up, you better step up and do it. Yes, I've always wanted to direct and produce, and this is an opportunity. Whether I'm there in the future or not, I know that director's chair would be open, and I'm pretty sure that it'd be open. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Well, before we go on to just some rapid fire questions and getting to know Jocko outside of Floyd, what would you like to see happen with your character? I'm gonna try this one more time. What would you like to see happen to Reynolds and his story?
I would like to see Reynolds be madly in love with whoever it is that he's supposed to be with, and have lots of kids. I like to see him become a father and have a good rest of his life in New York or San Francisco. Or hear that's what's happening if we don't see that happening.
I just refuse to give up on this. Somehow, some way, I'm gonna get an answer to this question.
Nah, I don't think so, bro.
Oh, I know, right? Make sure you secure the bag. Before we move on, though, talking about medicine and having it, because your character, if nobody else is doing a surgery, you're always in surgery. You're always ready to go. How are you with like being squeamish? What are you actually cutting on? Like, what is it? How is that for you?
Yeah, shout out to Sherry Ann and Diane, all the makeup artists and the special effects artists who make that stuff look so
real.
So real, a little too real. So I have at first it was like a little yuck, but then you get used to it and it's fun. Ryan is really squeamish, so I like to mess with him. I like to take a video of something that I shot that he wasn't there for, and say, "Oh man, check this out." He's like, "Oh what?" He's like, "Oh bro, why'd you?" And it's just like an open heart or a wound or a cut or. One of the craziest ones was Bloom's leg. I don't even remember her leg.
When
her
it
foot
actually-
that was just
Yes.
twisted.
Yes.
After her car accident. It's just so it's you get used to it.
Okay.
You get used to it. And shout out to the real Reynoldses out there,
Absolutely.
who are in the ER and have to just hold it together to save lives.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That trips me out. And I think about that a lot
Because they
I don't know how
really
they
do
it.
have to
Yeah.
put that personal to the side
Right.
and handle the patient.
Right, and it's a balance because you want them to put that aside and take care of but you also want to feel special and feel like that you are a human being and that they care about you and that you're not just another number or another surgery. So it's a tough thing.
Okay.
Care.
Well, I hope I answered or asked a lot of the questions that the audience wanted to know. So let's go a little bit deeper into who Jocko Sims really
All right,
is.
let's do it.
Because I must say, as a nosy journalist and as somebody that's trying to be out here and find information, you are one difficult person to find information on.
Oh yeah.
It's like they give me all of your IMDb stuff. They give me all of your credits. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but what about this? Like, I know nothing.
Like what?
Just okay. So, you're like sports teams. I mean, obviously you like sports because you were spotted right in front of 50 Cent. I think at a Knicks game. Is
No, that was a hockey game. That was the Rangers.
Game.
Yeah.
So obviously you like sport. What is
Yeah.
your favorite sport?
So now I'm slightly offended by the world out there, the internet.
Because they're not giving you enough.
Because no, it's like no. See, I want to be the Jack Nicholson of this team of the what Spike Lee is to the Knicks.
Okay.
I am to the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh.
Okay. Now you
Texas,
dug and found nothing
yeah.
connecting me to the Spurs.
Nope.
See, I got to work harder.
Yeah.
They don't even know who I am.
Okay, so
and that's
now-
sad. But I grew up in San Antonio, man, and that's the only team we had. We didn't even have a football team. We built a stadium, the Alamo Dome, hoping to get a football team, and we never did. So it was all about the Spurs, and I've been quite sad the last couple of years since my three guys, Manu Ginobili and Tim Duncan and Tony Parker retired. I have two French bulldogs named Manu and Ginobili.
Yes.
That's the biggest.
Your guard dogs. Yes.
That's the biggest hint there. So there you go.
Okay, you're right. That was a good hint. So the Spurs basketball. Okay, cool. What about if you weren't an actor? Do you think you actually still would have gone to be a doctor? Or would you be doing something else?
That's a good question. I don't know if the question I toyed with in my mind was if I didn't say if I said I don't want to be in school for the next 12 years, but I didn't take theater. What else would there be? And I think I've come up with a couple of things. One of them would have been maybe perhaps a teacher of some sort, besides this doctor stuff. And the other is, a politician, a lawyer, it's just an evil person.
Why evil?
No, I'm just. My point is, these people tend to be. They sell their souls at some point. But there's good ones out there. You know what I mean? There's people who fight the good fight.
Absolutely.
I think I probably would have gotten into politics
Okay.
and been a good guy.
Okay. And what
Like
about-
I think Barack Obama was a good guy.
there are a lot of politicians that are great guys and women.
Yeah. I think he was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you would have been a phenomenal politician.
Oh.
It's not too late.
Maybe.
I mean, Reagan waited until
Yeah,
later to
Reagan
become
did. He was an actor and then became, so all right, cool. Do you think it's too late for 2020? I mean,
Yes,
everybody's dropping out.
Yes,
We
listen,
need some color in there.
No, it's too late. The line is closed. Like
is it
it is what it is. This is all we got.
Confused
This is
people?
all we got. People are falling out by the wayside. Any siblings?
Yes. No, I have some half siblings.
Okay.
Down in Texas.
Okay.
Yes,
How
I do.
often do you get back to Texas?
I get back to Texas once a year or so. Yeah, I get down there.
Okay, so when Jocko's having his free time,
Yeah.
what does Jocko like to do besides going to Ranger games? Like,
Yeah.
What is it that you like to do?
Cooking.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. You didn't find that either?
I didn't.
Come
when
on,
I
man.
tell you nothing,
Internet,
all
y'all let this brother know. what I do.
When I'm telling you all they talked about was your career,
Yeah.
I'm like, who did he pay to wipe clean to make sure none of his personal information got out here?
No, it's not like that. It's just, I mean, look, I love to cook, and I'm pretty damn good. I went to the culinary school of YouTube, and Megan's over there laughing. It's yeah, man, I'm pretty damn good. I actually cooked yesterday for at my aunt's house. Shout out to Tanya. I hope you're watching, Tanya. And my mom, she came through, and I made some chicken tinga on a chalupa. Brother, changed everybody's life.
So is that your go-to? Like, what's your go-to meal? If you having people over and you like, okay, I gotta whip up
short
something.
Ribs. I'll do some braised short ribs.
Okay.
I'll go too long. I'll do 6-8 hours.
So none of the
Slow
vegan stuff. You're like,
not yet. Not yet.
You're leaning towards it.
Maybe soon, man. Maybe soon, but not right now. I ain't ready.
Yeah,
so I just started cooking.
Okay.
I've been cooking for 3 years.
Oh.
So I want to get a little bit out of my system. You know, in about 30, 40, 50 years, I'll turn vegan.
Okay, I love it. Because I love to eat. Because I was gonna ask you what's your favorite go-to snack? Like if Jocko's chilling and nothing formal, what like I love gummy bears. I'm obsessed. And I need to just stop it, but I'm obsessed. What's your go-to?
Gummy bears, bro. That's not good food. Let's see.
I know.
Snacks. I'm not a big snacker.
Okay.
I don't like snacks. I like meals.
You like meals? Okay.
Yeah. But cereal. Yeah, that's good for you. That's terrible for you too. It's just sugar and milk, which we're not supposed to be drinking. But Frosted Flakes, a good bowl of Frosted Flakes. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as being an actor, what is your process? Do you still take acting classes? Like, how do you keep your craft sharp?
Yeah. So for me, it has been over the years. What I would do is I would coach my peers, because after I graduated from school, I saw that I was booking a lot of jobs fairly quickly and consistently. And I wanted to help out some of my friends who might have been struggling with it, and some that who weren't struggling. But I'll bring them over, never charge, and we'd work for hours on something. It could be an audition that has 2 lines, or something that has a monologue, and we dive in and we break down everything that's going on in the scene, what happened before, after the scene. And make sure that when they're going into the audition that they're making an impression, because the audition is a whole different beast, so that's what I would put my energy in. And every time, we both learn something. And I did that for years, actually, before I moved to New York. So for me, that was like my class.
Okay. And how do you combat, or what's your advice to those to combat nerves? Because a lot of people auditions is like, they get uptight.
That never, a lot of, it's cliche. Some people say use it. I don't know how to use my nerves. Like, I'd say shout out to Joe Olivieri at UCLA, one of my former professors. He said, rehearsing it sounds cliche, but that's the way to go. Like, I tell my friends, like, just do it 200 times. Do it too many times. Do it until you're sick of it. And I would say also call over people, knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, can you read this with me? And put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Because if you are practicing in an uncomfortable situation, by the time you go into the casting director, that's going to be a breeze. Yeah. It's going to be a walk in the park. So, to combat the nerves, I would say put yourself in nervous situations or overdo it.
Perfect. My grandmother used to say, "Perfect practice makes perfect."
And it is.
But you're right. The more you do, if you just do it,
Just
it's
do
almost
it.
like breathing.
We
at
always
that point.
we like to set it down and be like, okay, I got it. Because and we're so nervous that we don't want to spend more time on it. Like, we start psyching ourselves out of the amount of work that we're supposed to actually put into it. I do it still myself. I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm cool. And then go in there and be nervous as hell because I don't got it. Yeah. So you have to put in that work.
I love that. Favorite movie of all time?
Misery.
Okay.
Never seen Misery?
Never seen it.
What?
No.
Okay. No. Well. Okay. How old are you?
Well, first of all, I feel like you're judging me. Right?
I mean,
Now,
how old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay. Yeah. You definitely should have seen Misery. So look, it's a Stephen King novel. Rob Reiner directed it. Kathy Bates nominated for an Oscar. She might have won, not sure. The main lead actor, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's fantastic. I won't even ruin it for you.
Okay.
It's a thriller, psychological thriller.
I love thrillers.
It's great.
I love it. Okay. So also, tell me about your experience with Crash, because I know that you played Anthony Adams on Crash. How did that even come about?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? Do you miss it?
Yeah. Wow. So there's a lot to say about Crash. First of all, I remember seeing the movie back in 2005, I think it was, in the theater. And I just saw a poster and didn't know anything about it. And went in and was like,
their marketing for that was crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn. And I remember crying because it was about race and a lot of things that I had experienced. Never thought that I'd be a part of the series that was made 3 years later. Now, it was loosely based on the film in that it had the same sort of types of situations, but it was all new characters. And it was Star's first original drama. So it was before Power and all that. This was their first try into the world of original content. And I remember that I booked the part, and I was going to play this driver to this big music mogul. And the music mogul character is supposed to be this crazy guy. He was kind of based on Phil Spector. You know, you're a legendary music producer, but there's a dead body or two that have popped up at your mansion, and we don't know why. It's that sort of thing. And my character came from the hood, and he was supposed to be driving for this person. So I booked the role, and we were shooting it in New Mexico. So I got out there to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we didn't have our lead character yet. And I heard it was going to be either Val Kilmer, Tom Sizemore, Harvey Keitel, or Dennis Hopper, among others. And I'm like, I'll take any one of those.
Right.
And thank God that Dennis Hopper said that he wanted to do the show, and he did. So I got to know him over the course of 2 years, and of course he was battling cancer during that time, and I didn't know, and he ended up passing away shortly thereafter. But I was like the last actor to be able to work with him. This legendary actor had been nominated for an Oscar, done over 150 films, and became a really good friend of mine. So it was fantastic.
Well, now that you kind of brought up lightly the subject of loss, and I feel like lately we've just lost a lot of huge iconic people in the world of entertainment across the board. Do you fully soak in and appreciate like your experiences and the things that are happening for Jocko Sims right now, this moment? And if so, like how do you stay present and appreciate what's going on? Like how do you appreciate the fact that 50 Cent is sitting behind you and knows exactly who you are?
I drive people crazy by having them film and take pictures, because I like to capture moments and I like to talk about moments. And by the way, Megan, you got to take some pictures of me here on AfterBuzz TV. This is like my 5th time.
Now I don't feel bad, because I was gonna hassle him for pictures. Now I know he's open to it.
No,
Great.
I love it because and I like to take it in and talk about it and show. And I was at my aunt's house yesterday showing all my cousins. It's like, look, they're doing a shout out to me at Madison Square Garden. They're showing a scene. It's a full house there at a Rangers game, and 50 Cent is sitting behind me clapping for me. It's just, it doesn't get any better than that. And I always say that. I'll always be that little boy from San Antonio, Texas. I'm always starstruck. I'm always nervous when I meet somebody I'm a fan of. You saw my reaction earlier when she was telling me that somebody knew my name. Yeah. And I was like, I grew up watching that person, you know? So it's really cool, and I always absolutely soak it in.
I love that. I love that, because I feel like a lot of times we get so caught up on trying to get there in the next project that we just miss out on just really, really appreciating the moments that we're in. So as we're beginning to wrap up this interview, I do want, because I have a tendency to talk a lot and then we run out of time, so I do want to get into this little rapid fire question. Okay. These questions are not even written down on this paper. These are old questions off the top of the dome. Right. First thing that comes into your mind, I want your answer. Okay. NFL or NBA?
NBA.
I wasn't expecting that answer.
Really?
No.
After the Spurs conversation?
No, but because I just really thought that you were going to go more NFL for some reason.
Okay.
I thought you were going to surprise me.
All right.
Dramas or comedies?
Dramas.
Fast food or comfort food?
Fast food.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Okay. Oreos or brownies?
Brownies.
You said cereal, so let's go Fruit Loops or Apple Jacks.
That's gonna be Loops. You go either one on that one. I'm not crazy about that.
Okay, Rice Krispies or Corn Flakes?
We gotta.
I know that's making it a little bit harder.
No, man, you gotta add sugar to both of those. Rice Krispies.
Okay, New York or LA? Oh, boom, got him, coach, got him.
Right now, New York.
Okay, if you're in this, I know it's would you rather, and I gotta give a little backstory. If you're on vacation, do you prefer tropical island or some random like country, like
Random country.
Okay, why?
I've never been a beach person. When I think of island, I think of the beach, obviously. It's just I'm not impressed. I'm not with it.
All right.
But versus going into a culture and seeing, weird stuff and trying weird foods and what you could do on the beach, but beach is a beach, and I love it.
Okay.
But if I'm gonna choose, it's gonna be that.
Pharrell or Timbaland?
Boom.
Got him again.
Hold on. It's gonna be Pharrell, but shout out to Timbaland.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Blue or green?
Blue.
Do you remember the little shoe thing where they showed the different colors and some people saw pink and white? Do you remember they saw pink and white? Some people saw blue.
I don't know. I don't believe those.
Did you do
with
it?
The stripes.
Yeah.
I seen something with the stripes.
And there was one of them. There was also a dress, and you could see either white or gold. Or
I think people were just playing pranks on people. I don't know. I'm not in. It's just
there. It is right there.
Left it.
Boom. What color do you see?
Which picture are we looking at?
Look at the middle picture.
Okay, that's blue.
No, it's white and gold.
Wait.
That is white and gold, sir.
In the middle.
In the middle. Actually, for me, you can pick any of them, minus the one on the far right, and it's white and gold.
That's why I said blue. That's why I said blue, because I see blue. I don't see nothing else. Apparently, I'm colorblind. But is he playing it? Well, are you playing a trick on me?
She sees white and gold, too.
How?
It's right there in white and gold.
In the stripes.
In the stripes.
I can't.
Okay.
Can't right now.
All right. Hip-hop or R&B?
You got to choose one?
You got to choose one.
What is this, The Good Son? Have you seen The Good Son?
That's with Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
Yes, I did see that.
Okay. Got to choose one.
See, he was about to get me again.
I'm gonna say R&B, which started hip hop.
Okay, and then follow-up question to this, which isn't part of this game. Who is your favorite R&B person? Who is your favorite hip-hop person? Or do you have a favorite?
That's too
much? Okay.
Yeah, that's
Michael or Prince? By the way, I mean Jackson, for those of you that are confused. Michael Jackson or Prince?
It's gonna be. I'm kind of disappointed in both of them. Just overall, I can't.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave it alone. That's all I got. That's my little rapid fire. Just wanted to.
They hurt me. Both of them. They hurt me. They disappointed me. But it's all good.
It's all good. Listen, I love them both. So it works.
They're great musical talents, and I really musically listen. I grew up. Michael Jackson was a huge, massive influence on me and why I do what I do. But like when you think of Prince and all of his, he plays every instrument, and it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. Those are two very talented individuals.
So on tomorrow night, when we actually do the full after show for New Amsterdam, one of the segments is called My Question of the Week. And so I'm going to ask you my question of the week now, since you won't be here. In the episode that we'll be covering, there were two individuals that found out that they were related. So my question of the week is, how would you handle finding out that you were dating a relative, not necessarily a sibling, but a relative?
And that aired last week.
Yes.
Okay. Y'all gonna do a show about that one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't take too. I don't think anybody would. The reason I even took pause is because the way that we did it on our show was interesting. And for those of you who missed it, these two people were madly in love. They were married, and they did one of those DNA things.
Ancestry.com.
Found out that they were brother and sister, but you have to watch and see how that turns out. Because I remember when I was reading it, I was like, damn, damn. So yeah, you hope that none of your parents are out there wilding out and or donating too much. And because that could happen, and I'm sure it has happened.
That's what's said with relatives nowadays, social media and everything, like you never know.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to run that by you, see what you thought.
I didn't date no cousin of mine, did I? Did you
obviously the internet doesn't have anything about your personal. But yes, I definitely want to thank you for coming by, stopping through, and showing us some love and giving us all the information behind the scenes. Once again, I'm going to try one last time.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's a spinoff in the works? Have they mentioned anything about a spinoff?
They have mentioned.
Okay.
They have mentioned. The writers have talked about. They've mulled over every scenario possible. And I'm going to say one more thing. I do know what will or won't happen, but I would not be surprised if a script comes in next week and it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's completely so it don't even matter. It don't even matter.
I got you.
Because they're having a good time. They're great, and shout out to the whole writing staff of New Amsterdam. So proud of you guys. Yeah. And it's fantastic.
No, well, congratulations to you. Shout out to you.
Thank you, man.
Once again, I'm like a proud, distant cousin watching you do your thing. You're making everyone proud on the screen, regardless if they know you or not, because you are for sure like acting your behind off in this character. Like I said, we forget all about Jocko, and it's all about Reynolds when the cameras are on. So you're doing a great job.
Appreciate it.
So once again, I want to shout out to Jocko Sims. Make sure tell the people where they can find you, where they can follow you.
You can find me everywhere, man. I'm Jocko Sims on Instagram, JOCKOSIMS, Twitter, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and of course you guys can follow me on all social media at the Tyler Tyson, and also follow AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV. We will see y'all right here tomorrow night for the AfterBuzz after show for New Amsterdam. I am your man, the Tyler Tyson. Once again, thank you for watching.
Peace.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.